Pregame.com.
Carolina at Indianapolis. They may move this to Monday Night Football because of all the attention it's gathering. Carolina opened as a 4-point road favorite, total 44.5. Not much movement on the total at all, still at 44.5. But there has been some money on the home dog. That's the Colts. Line now 3.5, even as low as 3 minus 125. This is Brian's best bet of the week. So I'm going to hand it over to him. Tell me who I'm betting.
If they move this to Monday night, I think the only people who would even notice were the people who bet on the game. Not 90% of NFL fans wouldn't even care.
Not even fantasy players, because how many Colt fantasy
That's
players
right.
do you have?
Without Manning in there, there's none on the team. This is one of my favorite handicapping angles. I'm going to play the over here. Anytime you have two teams that have nothing to play for near the end of the season, they play real loosey-goosey. A lot of points on the board, and we're getting a nice total here of 44.5. A lot of
Schoolyard football.
Yeah. A lot of people's first look at this, and I'll say, well, how can the Colts put up that kind of points? Well, they are coming off of a bye, and they did terrible offensively going into the bye, so you know that's what they were working on coming out during the bye week. But the main reason I like the over is because these defenses are terrible. 27th to 29th ranked defenses. Carolina's put points up on everybody they played. You just take a look at some of the defensive numbers here. Carolina's given up 20 points or more to all but one opponent all year, and that was the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Colts have permitted 23 points or more to all but one opponent this season. These are teams that don't play any defense at all. Carolina Panther games have produced 45 points or more, which is the key number because we're looking at 44.5 here, in all but two games all year long, and that was against the defenses of Jacksonville and Tennessee. They won't see that same type of defense when they play Indianapolis this week, and it's just a situation. Indy coming off of the bye, you know what they were working on. They're working on offense. Neither team has stopped anybody all year long. I can't see it happening here. You know Carolina's going to put a lot of points on the board. This is Indy's game to win. This is the one game on the schedule for Indy where they're expected to possibly win a game. And they're already up an extra game in the suck for luck sweepstakes.
They're
Yeah, so they can actually come out
they
and win
could
this
afford
game.
to win a game.
And usually, traditionally, winless teams coming out of a bye or a team you want to back, I've lost enough money on the Colts this year. I don't want to back the Colts. The way to get around that situation and make some money here is to play the over in this game. 44.5 with two of the worst defenses in the league, with nothing to play for other than fun. I'll play the game over.
I agree. You want to bet the Colts in this spot. I mean, a winless team coming off the bye, we know that's a trend, that a lot of bettors look at. You got their minus 104.5, their ATS margin. So you're going to be getting, this team at a discount. I was a little surprised the line came out this low, to be honest with you. I thought they'd bring it out closer to 6 just to get some kind of balanced action because nobody wants to bet the Colts right now. Getting 3.5, that's not enough to bring people out to bet the Colts. Books are going to be one-sided with Carolina. That I have no doubt at all. Even though Carolina's 2-8 on the season and winless on the road, people like Cam Newton. You don't consider Carolina as one of the 3 worst in the NFL. So I was surprised at how low this line is. I don't know if Marco used this as a trap game, but to me it falls under what he looks for. Books are begging you to take Carolina. I would love to disagree with you on the total because this is one of those spots where a regression to the mean is expected. You have Carolina, who's plus 58 on the over side for the total margin. You have Indy plus 16 on the over side total margin. But I can't bet the under in this game. Indy allows 30 points a game, their defense. Carolina allows 28.6 points per game. And that's when they were trying to win games. Right. That's with effort. Now, the season's pretty much wrapped up. You're going to get schoolyard football from both these teams. It takes a lot more effort to play defense than it does offense. So I couldn't bet the under if I wanted to, So I got to agree with you 100%. The only thing I will play devil's advocate on is that there's only been one 300-yard passer in the last 7 games against the Colts. And when you look at how Atlanta, New Orleans, and Jacksonville destroyed them, they did it by dominating on the ground, and that has a tendency to eat up some clock. But I can't see it. I wish I could bet a pizza. I can't do it. I'm going to have to agree with you. I like the over in this game. I like Indianapolis, but I don't think I could put this on my card. And to be honest with you, it's the plays that you're afraid to put out, the plays that there's going to be backlash if you give them out and they lose. They're usually the ones that get the money, but I just can't do it.
2 quick points. First off, in regards to the line, if Indy was not off of a bye last week, this line would be higher. It'd probably be 4.5. I would guess 4.5. But a lot of people just blindly play those teams off of a bye because they've done so well in the past. Your second comment about people not throwing on Indy makes perfect sense when you break it down from a handicapping standpoint.
You're not behind.
You're not behind in the game. You don't need to throw on them. And basically, you're just trying to get out of there without getting anybody hurt, get the game over with, which points more to the over because Carolina, even though you're not as hungry as a winless team, you're pretty damn hungry. It's been a long time since Carolina's won.
Yeah.
And they're going to win with offense. It's a winnable game for them. It's a winnable game for them. So with the other teams, when they play Indy, they'll get the big lead, and then they take the air out of the ball. Carolina, as we saw last week.
They want to blow somebody out.
We saw last week with Detroit. They had that big lead, and they gave it up late. So Carolina will continue to pass on the Colts.
Love it.
So
I'm just so glad, honestly, that – and here's the one thing, man. I know we're pressed for time, but sometimes it's not even about, getting a good pick from somebody and getting information from somebody. Sometimes it's about saving money from someone's information. And if anything, I think you've saved me money by not having me even look to bet this game under. Even if it stays under, your reasoning makes enough sense to me that I want to incorporate that to my handicapping. And even if it doesn't cash a ticket for me in this game, using those, that reasoning, those fundamentals, I know it's going to help me down the road. And I think not enough bettors and handicappers look at it that way. Like some information that's out there that saves you money is as important as information that cashes a ticket for you.
It's even more important because on a loser you got to pay 11 to 10.
Yeah.
So it's very important. And I saved you like $10 right there because you're not going to have a pizza.
Even so, but I am going to have a big bet. It's going to be on a play he's got. You got something good.
Yeah, this week we just did a totals play. I don't normally do a lot of totals in college football. A lot of times people can't play them. But there's one of the games, it's a nationally televised game, and it's going to be a lot of interest in it on this weekend. It's actually going Friday. And I'm going to put out my college football total of the year on this game on Friday. Really excited about it, and we talked a little bit about it. I think you agree with me on this play. So it's going to be my best bet for this weekend. It's been a while since I've had a real step-out game. I've had a lot of success during these weekday games, a lot of success in the MAC, another winning week in college football last week. I really love this total.
And this qualifies as a weekday game.
It is a weekday run. 13-2 on these weekday college football
games. And this is the biggest one you've put out in a while. I love it. I love the play. I'll tell you that much. I love the play. It's going to do it. We'll be back with my best bet. Don't forget pregamevideos.com for all the videos in one thread, all the game notes, as well as conversation about the games and the picks. We'll be back with my best bet.